Hey guys, it's me, Shani, and today is a big day on my channel. I'm going to be doing a eyeshadow palette declutter and collection video. I have been wanting to do this video for a long time and I feel like it's finally time. I want to go through my collection and show you guys. So if you are interested, then keep on watching. I also just want to go over a couple things. I do have way too many eyeshadow palettes. The reason I have so many is because it's just something I really enjoy collecting, but I've learned that I feel like having too many is just, I don't know, it's overwhelming. I just feel like I don't use a lot of these palettes, and so I'm hoping I can declutter a lot of them and get rid of some and just be in a better place with it. So yeah, and if I declutter your favorite palette, don't take it personally. We all have different preferences, and I feel like my preferences have changed a little bit over the years, and so I'll kind of talk about that as well. I just feel like I used to buy and get different palettes, like I'd ask for them for Christmas, my birthday, I'd get them in BoxyCharm, so I just had a ton of palettes coming in. Maybe, I can't even remember, but 20, 30 a year. Maybe that's a stretch, but at least 20 a year, and I really slowed that down. I feel like this year so far I've gotten like 4 palettes, maybe if that, so I've been a lot less crazy with the spending and getting different eyeshadow palettes, so I feel like I've just changed a bit. My preferences have changed, and so I'm excited to kind of dive in and see where this takes us. Okay, here is the current palette situation. We have a lot to go through. Okay, so I went ahead and arranged them by brand. So now I have all of these random piles, and I counted, and I have 93 palettes here. So we definitely have to go through. I do have probably about maybe 10 palettes at my parents' house, and they're older palettes that I've kind of just kept for nostalgic reasons. I don't use them, so that's why I don't have them here. So I'm not going to count the ones there, but maybe next time I'm there I'll do a little clip of those palettes. But for this video we have 93 to go through. Let's just get into it. So the first pile, and I'm using a blanket to have my setup here, but the first pile is Too Faced. So I have 3 palettes from them. I used to have a ton more, and I might still have the chocolate bar one at my parents', but first I'll show the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. This was such a hit back in the day. I hit pan in this shade and mostly shimmers here. I absolutely loved this classy and sassy shade. It was always this really pretty, like, bronzy color. But yeah, it's a pretty palette. I just think it's old, and because there's so many shimmers and not that many mattes, I think it's time to part ways with it. It does smell like chocolate, which is nice, but I don't know. I just think it's time. I want to not use any expired makeup, and I actually did use an expired eyeshadow palette recently, and I had irritation because of it, and it kind of was an eye-opener for me, and I'll get to that when we get to that palette. But basically I want to just get rid of any older eyeshadow that could do that to me, but this was fun while it lasted. I liked this palette. I'm also going to be decluttering the Too Faced Tickled Peach. I actually really enjoyed this. I traveled with this one a lot, so I really would recommend this one. It is just also pretty old, and I want to go ahead and declutter. And it smells like peach. I do still have my Too Faced Peach palette at my parents'. I'm keeping that one just for memory's sake, but this one I'm going to declutter. Lastly, the only one I'm keeping is the Kitty Likes to Scratch. I do like the Too Faced eyeshadow formula. It is really nice and easy to work with. This one a wonderful friend gave me recently, and I have used it a few times. I do enjoy it, so I'm going to hang on to this one. Next we have BH Cosmetics. I have 2 palettes from them, and I honestly think I'm going to keep them both. This is my favorite pastel palette, the Lost in Los Angeles. Look at these gorgeous pastel tones. They are so pretty. I'm definitely hanging on to this. It's just so nice. I love this bright lavender shade. The shimmers are gorgeous. So yeah, this is a really nice formula, affordable. I really love this palette. The Passion in Paris is super cute as well. It's actually very dark. I feel like I don't always reach for these types of tones. They're just very, you know, I don't know, almost like romantic and dark. Like some of these shades over here are just so dark. Like I don't normally go that dark with my eyeshadow, but I do really like the tones here. I think it's unique, so I'm going to keep this one. I also love Paris, and I just love the BH Cosmetics formula, so I'm going to hang on to this one. Okay, this is getting hard. I'm looking at some piles that I'm unsure about, so I'm going to grab some piles I am sure about. These are the Marc Jacob palettes. This one is the Stiletto, and I absolutely love this one. I'm going to hang on to it. It is getting a little old, but I think I have a little time left with it. It is just such a cool tone, gorgeous palette. I just love the purple, and this glittery shade is so pretty, so I am going to hang on to this one, definitely. Then the Cheerific one. I love the berry tones. It's really pretty. I actually reached into this recently, so this is such a favorite. Next is my Thrive Cosmetics palettes. So I have 4, and I'm keeping probably all of them. They are just so good. These are some really pretty neutral tones. This is the Perfect Eye palette, and as you can see, I've hit major pan on this one. And I reach into this one a lot just for everyday necessary colors. We have the Focus Eyeshadow Palette number 1. This is more warm toned. I do like this one. I don't reach into this one that often, but I do really like the formula. It's buildable and easy to use, and I like how compact these are. This one is the number 2. This is probably my favorite of the 3 here. It is very cool toned, and I really like this shade here is like so pretty. It's like a beigey, I don't even know, beigey silver. And last we have the Focus Eyeshadow Palette number 3. I hit pan in this one, and this is all matte shades, and they're just really nice staple neutral colors you might need. Next we have Lime Crime. I have 2 Lime Crime palettes. The Venus XL2 is the one I originally first got, and it is so pretty. It has pink and green tones, and this is like hard to show with the reflective packaging, but it is just such a pretty color story. I don't think I'm ready to give up this one. I really enjoy the formula. The shimmers are just very glitzy and like sparkly. They're different than a lot of other shimmers formulas that I have, so I'm just gonna try to get more use out of this one. We have the Venus 3. This was a BoxyCharm product that I got. I really like the Beam shade, like this purple. I like Dreamy, but I feel like as a color story, it's just not that inspiring. Like I don't ever use purples like that. I feel like together, I don't know, together it's not the most exciting color scheme. I don't know. I think I'm going to put this in the maybe pile of maybe I'll keep, maybe not. We have the Melt Cosmetic palettes. I absolutely love these. The first I got was the Mirte. I mean, the packaging is just so gorgeous. and these tones are amazing. These are very dark shades as well, but I just love the mint and the red and the blue. I'm so impressed with this color story, and it was just such a thing back then. I still enjoy it. Really like this color story. Then I went out of order and got the Gemini 2, and this is one of my favorite palettes, the grungy pinks and greens. So pretty for fall. I am obsessed with this one. Recently I got the Gemini, and this is so pretty for fall as well. I love these neutral tones and the greens here. I definitely want to do some looks with the two of these palettes together. I think that'd be super fun. This is just an honorable mention. I'm not including this in the eyeshadow count, but this is a vintage CoverGirl eyeshadow palette from the 80s. I just wanted to show it here. It is the Frosted collection, and it's Moody Mauves. So cute. Next we have these from Muse Beauty. They have since ended. They are no longer a brand, but I do have these two palettes. This one is the Impressionism. I was most excited to try this one, and it did actually disappoint. It's just not, I love the color story, but the formula was very hard to blend, not impressive at all. So I don't know, I think it's definitely time to get rid of this one because I was not impressed. Then I don't know, this one I wasn't terribly impressed with either, but I feel like the color story is just more unique on this one. It's kind of difficult to decide. I think I'm just gonna get rid of it. I don't like the formula, so it's not worth it. I think the concept of doing palettes based on art is a super cool concept. That's why I wanted to purchase these, but the formula fell flat for me, and they're not a brand anymore, so I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. We have Sugar Pill. I have two palettes from Sugar Pill. This one is so cute, the fun size. They now have a second palette of the fun size. I think they have fun size 2, but I haven't gotten that one. I think this one's so cute. I really like these pastel tones. They're very bright, but you can also build them up, so they're kind of neon on first use, and then you can build them up to be brighter and bolder, but really pretty shadows, easy to work with, and I feel like I don't have many colors this bright or this, I don't know, some of these shades are just more unique, so I'm gonna hang on to this one. This one I am on the fence. I really like this palette, but two of the shades broke on me, and so it's tough because I really like this interesting green. I feel like I don't have any like that in my other palettes, and same with this light lavender. So I might hang on to this one just because it is a cool palette and I want to get more use out of it. So we will see about this one. Maybe I'll put this in my maybe pile, and if I find shades like those ones, maybe I will part ways with this one. Let's dip into my miscellaneous pile. I have the Nomad Studio 54 palette. The reason I got this palette is because my dad played disco music in the past, and so it was very nostalgic to have shades called La Freak, Last Dance. You know, these are just all shades that are all song names that he performed, but it really fell flat for me. It's not very, I don't know, they're very hardly pressed, so they're not too pigmented, and they just weren't what I expected. I swatched them, and they look really pretty on my hand. I don't know, they just weren't what I expected, but I feel like maybe I should give it another chance because I do really like the concept of this palette, and the shades are pretty. I just wish they kind of like spoke more to me. I don't know. So I think this one's gonna go in the maybe pile for now because I don't know, it's tough. This is another miscellaneous. It is the Ulta Beauty and Gilmore Girls eyeshadow palette collection here. and I have never even opened this. This is something I keep kind of for collector purposes. I love collecting vintage makeup, but also just makeup in general, and this was a gift from my mom, and just because I love Gilmore Girls, I just wanted to keep it in the packaging, and I have not used it. It's just so cute. It has the names of, like, one of them is Luke's, Al's Pancakes, Stars Hollow. Like, it's just very, very cute. So I am hanging on to this, but I think I'm going to just keep it unused, almost like for collector's purposes. Another miscellaneous is my Greek Goddess palette from Muse Beauty. I loved this palette in the past. I have not used it in a while, and it is so old that I think it's like growing. I don't know what that is. Do you see that? I don't know. It's almost like growing something. I have not used this in a long, long time. Randy gave this to me for our first Valentine's Day together, so it was just a special gift, and I absolutely loved it for so long, and I just think the tones are really pretty. The formula is gorgeous. I need to purchase more Muse Beauty palettes, but this I'm going to retire but keep for just sentimental reasons, and maybe a separate drawer just for palettes like that. This one I'm 100% keeping. It is my Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 palette. This is such a favorite. I got this year, or beginning of this year, and there's some cream shadows, beautiful metallics, and then some mattes. I really enjoy the shimmers here. They're so metallic and pretty, and then the mattes blend out really beautifully, so this is such a favorite. I have my e.l.f. palette, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. I kind of feel like I should get rid of some, but I don't want to. They're so cute, and they're so handy for on the go. This one is Pumpkin Pie. I used this recently. It's perfect for fall time. Love it. This one I used a shade completely up in it, but I really do like the shimmers here, so I'm gonna hang on to this one also. I just think it's so pretty. And these are $3 also. This one's a super unique color story, so I really love the green and gold tones. This mint one, the mattes do not perform the way I would want them to. They're just very, I don't know, they're not pigmented enough, but I feel like I just don't have many mint shades, so I kind of want to hang on to this. And just for those days, if I want a mint look, I have it. We have Truffle. This one is so grungy and cool. I really like the silver with the brown combo. And then this one is one of my favorites, Berry Bad. I love this one. The shimmers are so gorgeous. The mattes are workable. They're pretty good. They're not my favorite matte formula by any means, but they do the job. So this one is a really pretty one as well. Oh, this is tougher than I thought. I can't believe it. Let's do Natasha Denona. Next, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 Natasha Denona palettes. My biggest one here is the pastel palette. This one is stunning. It has all of these gorgeous pastel tones. This is somewhat newer to my collection. I got it last year, and I feel like I hardly have had a chance to really dive into these shades. So pretty. I really want to do some more creative looks with this one. This one I think I'm going to get rid of. It is the Natasha Denona Star palette, or Mini Star, and I actually loved this for so long, but I feel like it's just older, and I'm not obsessed with the color story. This blue hardly looks blue on the eyes. It ends up showing up more like this one. So I think it's time. I really did like this one though. I like how they have the mini palette, so you can try Natasha Denona eyeshadows at a lower cost. I really do enjoy Natasha Denona's eyeshadow palettes or eyeshadow formula. It's really good, but I think I'm ready to get rid of this one. This one is one of my all-time favorites. This is the Natasha Denona Peak palette. This I got in a BoxyCharm. It's just the perfect everyday neutral type of tones that I like. I want to use this more, but it is one that I do find myself reaching for every now and then. We have the Ayana palette. This is a really pretty, kind of like smoky neutral type tones. This is gorgeous. I have used this for more of, I don't know, like more sophisticated looks, like job interviews. I've used this before, and it just works so smoothly. The mattes are so pigmented and pretty, and the shimmers are gorgeous. Same with the Cranberry palette. This one is a go-to for me, or at least it used to be. I don't reach for it as much anymore, but I do really love the color scheme here. It's just very up my alley. Okay, we have 4 Ace Beauté palettes. I feel like this is going to be tough because I do like Ace Beauté formula. This I feel like I have to keep. It's just such a pretty blue-green color story. It's just so pretty. I feel like it's the ultimate blue-green palette, so I feel like I need to hang on to that one. We have the Falling For You. Super cute for this time of year. And this one's pretty too. Oh my gosh. I feel like the shimmers in here are so gorgeous. I want to hang on to this one longer. We have the Nostalgia palette. This is so fun for the summer. I absolutely love these tones. I got all of these, I think, from BoxyCharm, I believe, or most of them I got from BoxyCharm, but this one's so fun. I feel like I really enjoy these tones in the summer months. And then we have Vintage Dawn. I feel like maybe I can get rid of this one. It is really pretty for like a fiery red toned look, but I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile, but I'm thinking maybe I'll get rid of this one. This one's not even an eyeshadow palette, but I wanted to include it because I'm getting rid of it. It is a old Morphe lip palette, and it was all these like interesting lip colors. I don't need this anymore. It's very old. This was a gift from my brother's fiance, Bree. It's the Spotlight You Can Be palette. This is a huge rainbow palette. I absolutely love the quality of this. It is really, really good. So I'm going to hang on to this one. I feel like it's the perfect rainbow palette. I might honestly keep this out to reference, like if I'm keeping palettes that I don't need to keep because I have the shades in this palette, I might reference that. But really pretty palette. I think I have 12 or 13 ColourPop palettes. This is insane. I'll start with the one I made myself. This is all of their single eyeshadows. Some of them are actually Sydney Grace, and that one is Natasha Denona. But I love this palette. I reach for this a lot. This is the one I made, and I love like I loved putting them in here. So definitely keeping. So cute. This is another one of their little palettes, and I only have a few ColourPop shades there, and this one are my Cleona shadows. Love these so much. They are so beautiful. Let me just, oh my gosh, what? I can't believe I'm not using this. Like, I need to use these every day. What am I doing? Definitely keeping these, and I want to maybe even add more to my singles collection down the line because this looks kind of sad, but love these 5 shades. We have the So Jaded Kathleen Lights and ColourPop. This is such a stunning palette. I think this is still, you know, not too old to use. Hopefully not. It's such a pretty gem inspired palette. So pretty. I'm kind of comparing this one to my Vintage Dawn palette, and I feel like Cactus and what is this, Jade, are kind of similar. I'm just trying to find dupes because I kind of want to get rid of this one, and I don't know. I don't know, just on further thought, I think I am going to get rid of this one, and then I still have other ones with some similar color stories. We have Frozen 2 from ColourPop. This is the Anna palette. This one is tough. Oh my gosh, it is just such a pretty color story with the purple and gold tones. I think I'm going to hang on to this one. It's not my favorite, I feel like, but it is a cool color story, so I don't know. Maybe I'll put this in the maybe pile. I do like that it's frozen though. I think that's really cute. We have the Wine and Only. This is so pretty. I really need to bust this out for fall time. Gorgeous. I really enjoy ColourPop's formula. If you can't tell why I have a billion palettes from them, I do really like their formula and they're affordable. This is the best blue palette known to man. It is Blue Moon. So pretty. I love these blue tones. I hardly ever reach for them, but I do love the tones. The Tinkerbell Sprinkle a Little Magic palette. This is adorable. I have this shade that kind of broke on me, but other than that, the pink and green color story is so stunning. This was a really thoughtful gift from my brother's fiance. We have the amazing Baby Yoda palette. This was also a gift, and I am thrilled to have this. It is a really pretty green palette. Love this. And then for some reason, I can't remember, but I actually have a backup of it. And I just thought at the time it was so hard to come by these palettes. So I think I bought myself one and then I got one as a gift. So I do have two. So I have this brand new one that I'm just kind of hanging on to for maybe collector's purposes. I'm not sure, but I have this one as well. This is one of my favorites. It's My Pleasure. I actually hit pan on Earthshine. I have a backup of Earthshine in my singles palette, but this is not going anywhere. It is so gorgeous. I feel like maybe in a couple years it'll go bad. I've had it for a while. I just love these purple and pink tones. So pretty. The shimmers here are outstanding. So pretty. I can't even explain how pretty these are on the eyes. I feel like seeing that palette kind of makes me think twice about this one. Almost like I don't need it. I think this one's gonna be a no. Sweet Talk, we absolutely love. This is a gorgeous palette. Some of these I forgot to mention have Super Shock shadows in them, which is super cool to have different formulas. This is one of my all-time favorite color stories. So pretty. I love the pinky tones with especially the Super Shock, and then this one, the pressed glitters, I could do without, but such a pretty palette. And then lastly, this one no one ever talked about, the Sweet Nothings, but it is so pretty. I hit major pan on it, and it is just really cool. And you know what? There's pink and purple. There's purple and gold shades in here, and so it makes me really feel validated in getting rid of the Frozen 2, just because this one's kind of a different type of gold, but still it's kind of like those gold and purple vibes that I like in this one. Yeah. So keeping this one, getting rid of this one. And lastly, from ColourPop, we have the Zodiac palette from Kathleen Lights. I actually do have the Dream Street and Kathleen Lights palette at my parents' house. That one was getting old on me, but I still wanted to keep it for sentimental reasons. Same with this one. I think I'm going to keep it. I don't think it's too old. I love that it's all the different signs. What sign are you? I am Taurus. I really like the concept of this palette. It's a very interesting color story that I do actually like, so really happy to have this in my collection. Let's do Anastasia. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 Anastasia palettes. We'll start with the only Norvina palette I have. That is this big size, the number 2, and look at this color story. It is gorgeous. I don't really have anything like this with these bright blue and green with the yellow and the pink. I'm definitely hanging on to this. I really need to use this more because I do like the formula of this one. This is the palette that I used recently that caused my eye irritation that kind of prompted me to go through my collection. I absolutely love the original Modern Renaissance. It is a classic. I wore this on my first date with my boyfriend, first day of college, high school graduation. So I should have known not to use this one, but yeah, it's too old. I'm going to keep this for sentimental reasons because it is just one of those palettes that I absolutely love so much. And I actually do have a backup of this one somewhere. I can't find it, but if I find it, I will definitely use that one because I love the color story here. It's just so romantic and beautiful, and I love it for, you know, everyday friendly type looks. We have Subculture. I love this one. I wonder if this is going bad soon. I don't know. I've had it for a while, but such a pretty color story. It's very unique. I feel like I gotta hang on to it and try to use it a little bit more before retiring it. Electric, this shade is so stunning on the eyes. Oh my gosh, look at that. I have other shades that I kind of might have on there, but what? It is just so pretty. Really love this. And other people didn't like this formula. I definitely do. It is, I don't know, a little hard to work with, but really pretty. We have the Sultry palette. I did get this one later, so I think it's still going strong. I used this one up completely. Love the neutral tones, almost like glam neutral, so stunning. The Anastasia formula is one of my favorites. We have Soft Glam. This one, super pretty. I am enjoying using this one sometimes. I love this shade Dusty Rose, and some of these warmer neutrals are really pretty on the eyes. And I like that it has that bronze color. Super pretty. This is the Anastasia Rose Metal. This is my most recent purchase from Anastasia. It is so pretty. It is super grungy, super fun, and a very unique color story. I feel like it's a different formula than these other ones that I'm showing. It seems a bit different. Like some of these shimmers are just softer, like rose quartz, and some of these other ones they're just different, I think, but I do really like it, and I've been reaching for this one a lot recently. Is it time to get rid of Norvina? I love this palette. I mean, love it. But I feel like I've had it for a while, so I'm kind of conflicted, but I absolutely love this palette. I might hang on to it just for nostalgic reasons. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I've had this for a while, but it's so pretty. I love Soul, love Wild Child, Celestial. They're so, so beautiful. One of my favorite palettes. And lastly, we have Amrezy, and this one's gorgeous as well. This one's not terribly old, so I'm still gonna use this and enjoy it. It's not my favorite color story. Barb is one of my favorite shades, though. But like some of these browns, we did not need both of these shades. I don't know. We probably didn't even need both of these shades. But what can you do? Look at this. Oh my gosh. So pretty. Let's go into Juvia's place. I have a huge stack here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 Juvia's Place palettes. And I feel like Juvia's Place is not even my favorite formula, so how I ended up with this many, I don't even know. But first we have the Masquerade. And this is a super cool color story. it is pretty old at this point. I don't know if I should even use it anymore. The shimmers are really stunning, like look at these, but a lot of them are darker shimmers, so I don't know. Part of me is like, do I need to use it? I feel like I'm not that inspired by it. I think I'm ready to part ways with this one. We have Nubian 3 Coral. This is interesting. It's like half coral, half cool toned, or partly cool toned, partly neutral, and then some corals. I don't know. I might have to think about this one. We have the Nubian 2. This one is super cool for fall. I do really like these tones. I think this one performed better than the other one I was talking about, the Masquerade one. I kind of want to keep this one a little bit longer. Ugh, this one's tough. We have the Magic Mini. I think this was the first, no, maybe the Masquerade was the first one I got, but this was the first one I fell in love with, the shade Fesco, or whatever. This one is one of my favorite shades, like ever, but I do feel like, oh my god, look at how pretty it is. I just swatched it. Ugh, I don't know. I think I'm gonna look around in my collection to see if I have anything similar. I actually hated these dark mattes. They blended terribly, so I don't love Juvia's matte formula sometimes, but the shimmers are so pretty. So I'm gonna wait and see if I have anything like that shade before I get rid of it, because I'm hanging on. The Tribe is one of my favorite Juvia's Place palettes. So pretty. I love these tones. I gotta use this again. I feel like it's such a unique color story. It's just so pretty on the eyes. Next we have this big stack of all of their smaller palettes. First, the Violets. This one has such pretty shades, except the mattes I don't love in this palette. They're very patchy, so this one is a maybe. I'm not too sure if I want to keep this one. This one I definitely want to keep, the Berries. It's really pretty. I love the tones in here, and the mattes do work better in this palette. We have the Nudes. This one I hit pan in, and I do like these other shades. I just don't really reach for this palette that often. This one's kind of tough. This one's a maybe as well. I can't make any decisions. Oh my gosh. This one I do really like, the Taupes. I got a really good sale on these palettes. This one I really love the cool tones in. So pretty. We have the Sweet Pinks. This is super bright and fun. I really like this one, especially in the spring summertime. We have the Mauves. This one I love for, this is like my everyday type of palette, like pinky tones but with a brown, and this shade is so stunning. It's one of my favorite shades. I would say one of my favorite Juvia's shades, definitely. And then Chocolate. Oh, this one's fun. I don't wear this one hardly ever, but I feel like it's pretty. I need to use this one more. I want to keep it around and definitely try to get more use out of it, because it is a cool color story. Okay, we have some more. This one, oh, okay, I'm gonna go into the miscellaneous. I have only one Urban Decay palette, which is crazy. I had so many in the past. I might have more at my parents' house, but here I only have one, and it is the Smoky. I absolutely loved this palette for a long time. I hit pan in this one here. It is just so pretty. I just think it's old. I think I've had it for years and years, so I'm going to I think I'm going to declutter this one. It's sad because this was like my first Smoky palette, I feel like, and I really enjoyed using this. I use this every year for New Year's, I feel like. I do have some of the smoky tones that I like in this sultry palette. kind of like the silver and the gray. Maybe time to part ways with this one. It's sad because this is such a good one. I don't know, do I keep it for sentimental value? I don't think I have that close of an attachment to it, but it is a good palette, definitely. This one I have to keep. It is the Tiny Marvels palette by Mel Thompson and Sydney Grace. I absolutely love this color story. Super unique. The shadows here are amazing. This is one of my favorite formulas ever. It is so easy to use, but also so pigmented and beautiful. We have the Besame Sleeping Beauty palette. This palette is gorgeous. I don't really use this one. I use it more as like decor almost, but it has these gorgeous matte shades, and they are all representing shades in the original Sleeping Beauty movie. How cool is that? I'm never getting rid of this ever. I'm a very big Disney fan. Another one I'm not getting rid of is the Conspiracy palette by Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. Let's open this up. This one broke the internet. Everybody needed to get their hands on it. I actually really like the color story. I feel like it's very different and unique, and I do really like the formula. I don't buy from Jeffree Star anymore, but it's just an iconic palette, so I'm definitely hanging on to it. I don't really use it anymore, but I should break it out and use it and come up with some looks because I had so much fun using this back in the day. We have the Sigma, these are miscellaneous by the way, the Sigma Cinderella, and this one I absolutely love. Cinderella is one of my favorite Disney princesses, maybe my favorite, so had to have this. Love the little imprints, and the formula is really good. I feel like the blue and the purple aren't my favorite of the mattes. Like, they don't blend out the best, but those are hard pigments or hard colors to formulate, so it makes sense. I do really like the shimmers here the most. They are just so pretty. Love the packaging. So amazing. We have the Glam Light Cake palette. It is in a little oven. How cute is this packaging? It's like too big, so I gotta hold up my camera. It is so cute. It's adorable, and here are the colors. I'm definitely keeping this because this is another great rainbow palette. I think it's so pretty, and I always enjoy the look that I create when I do create a look with this one, so I feel like I need to bust this out more because it is stunning and it's very, very pigmented, so it does not disappoint. All of these are so pretty, and I feel like I hardly use them. I need to get rid of some so that I can use my collection more. This is the Alamar Cosmetics Spanglish palette, and I like this formula, but I feel like I don't love the color story here. I don't know. I might swatch around to see if I have a color like that, because the other colors I can duplicate, but that purpley color, I don't know. Let me maybe think on this one. This one is such a favorite, but it's old. It's time to get rid of it, but it is the Pure Visionary palette. I have Hit Pan in the shade here, the shade right here. The shimmers are stunning here. I absolutely recommend this palette. The mattes are okay, but the shimmers are where it's at. And I love the shade names here. We have CEO, Rebel, Girl Boss, just very inspiring shade names. And I really enjoyed using this. I feel like I did get a lot of use out of it. I know it doesn't look like it, but it is a palette I loved using, and I think it's just time to let it go because some of these shimmers are almost like a creamy type of formula, so it is definitely past its expiration date. We have Beauty Bakery Breakfast in Bed. This is one of my absolute favorite palettes. I don't know why, I just really enjoyed this. I got it from BoxyCharm, and the tones together are just super pretty. I love this lilac-y color. These shimmers are different and cool. The only shade I don't really use or like is the middle shade, Boo and a View, but other than that, I really love all these shades. We have the Nikkie Tutorials Beauty Bay palette. This packaging is interesting. It's cool. It's not my thing necessarily, but these shimmers in here are so cool. They are almost like spongy. I feel like I don't know how else to describe them. They are so stunning, and I just need to use this way more than I do because this pink and this shade here, I can't even describe how pretty it is. We have to swatch it. I don't think it even does it justice. On the eyes, it is stunning. Again, the mattes in here I don't necessarily love. Like, they're not the best matte formula, but the shimmers are so different from other shimmers. Like, I really love this one. I have the Pat McGrath Bridgerton palette. This one is super amazing. I do like it. This shade here in the middle is so stunning on the eyes. I really like the different formulas. So we have some satiny mattes, we have an actual matte, we have a shimmer, we have like more of a metallic, and then we have this glitter topper type of shade. So there's so many different formulas in this tiny palette. It's kind of crazy. So this one I do appreciate for that, and I think it's my first time trying Pat McGrath eyeshadows, and I do really enjoy it from what I have here. It's not my favorite color story, I guess, but the packaging is a beautiful, beautiful tribute to the show, and I reach for this pretty often. We have the Kat Von D Lolita, and this one I do like, but it's matte. I feel like it's kind of boring. It's all matte. I don't know. Randy did buy this for me, so I feel bad getting rid of it. It was one of my favorite palettes for a while. Like, I feel like I did reach for it a lot, but I think it might be time to get rid of it. I feel like I don't reach for this. I have these tones in other palettes, and I always have to use a shimmer palette if I use this one, so it's a little tough. It's hard to let go, but I think it's time. Oh my gosh. Okay. We have the Glitter Storm from Ciate. This is a fun packaging. This one I haven't reached into in a while, but the shimmers in here are stunning. Or these glitters up here are crazy pretty. I think I need to maybe keep this and use it a few more times and then decide. It was just one of my absolute favorite palettes in the past, so I feel like I need to keep it. It's just so pretty. These shimmers are gorgeous. Or these almost like glittery shimmers. Really pretty. I used to wear this and I would always get compliments, so it's just hard to pass this one up. So I'm going to keep it. Okay, we have the Jouer Ultra Foil. This one I need to use more also. Oh my gosh, I keep saying that for every single one. But these shades are so stunning. I feel like I need to keep this because it's just so unique. I really love the shimmers in here. Alright, we are towards the end. I have this Maven Cosmic Drip. This one was from a BoxyCharm, and it is really pretty. Oh no, this is hard. I just don't reach for it that often because this blue is kind of dark. I don't know. Let me swatch it next to some other shades. Like, it almost reminds me of my Pat McGrath palette, like some of the shimmers, one of the shimmers in there. Let's compare it to the gold. Yeah, I don't know. So the shade, it's a little more gold. This is the Pat McGrath and this is the Maven. I feel like they're kind of similar. Almost, this is so tough. I don't know. I gotta think about this one. We have Huda Beauty Ruby Obsessions. This is a nice little palette as well. It's my only Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette. I did get it in Boxy Charm. I kind of want to just use it more and see if I like it. I mean, I've used it a few times and I liked it. So, I don't know. This is so tough. I'm keeping like everything. We have the Cab Cosmetics. This one I think maybe I could get rid of eventually, but it is really pretty. I feel like it has some cool tones, like this Moon Dust shade. I was trying to find something similar and it's somewhat difficult. Like, what? I just don't know how to describe this shade. It has a lot to it. Yeah, we're keeping this palette. I don't know. I think I need to use it more and see how I feel and maybe get rid of it eventually. But like Halo and Twinkle Twinkle at the top are also so pretty, and I was looking for another purple that was almost like warm like this one and I couldn't find it. So yeah, I'm justifying it, but it's hard. The Hasina Chew by, who is this by? Blush Tribe. They are no longer a brand. This palette is pretty, but I don't know. I feel like I do have these shades in other palettes, so I might just let it go. I think it wasn't the best matte formula. Shimmers were really pretty, and I do like the color story, but I think I have other palettes. Like, I'm looking at my Norvina palette and I feel like I have some of the green and blue tones in here, and then I could, the purples I kind of have elsewhere. So I need to declutter, so I'm going to get rid of this one. Blush Tribe is no longer available, so it's kind of hard. It makes me want to hang on to it, but I never used it that often in the first place. And then lastly, we have Hip Dot. This one I loved for a while. I do like this palette. I think it has a lot to offer, and I think I'm gonna hang on to this one as well. I really did like the formula, and yeah. So these are all of the palettes that were the maybes, and I went through and swatched a ton of different shades. I decided I'm going to declutter this Maven Cosmic Drip. I'm going to declutter the Juvias. I'm going to keep the Nubian 3 Coral. I do think this is a unique color story, so I'm going to hang on to this one. But the violets I'm getting rid of. The Spanglish Alamar I'm getting rid of. Getting rid of Venus 3. The Huda Beauty getting rid of. The Magic Mini getting rid of. These two, the Nudes and the Studio 54 I'm getting rid of, but I'm going to hang on to the Sugar Pill. So let's tally how many we are getting rid of. So this is all of the palettes I am getting rid of. There is 20 in total that I am decluttering. I feel like that is really great. I am proud of that. Here are all of them. Yeah, I can't believe it. This was kind of fun, and it reminded me that I need to just enjoy what I have more and get rid of the ones that I'm not using. Here is all of the palettes in the trash, and I decided to add this one to the pile as well. Yay! I can't believe it. I hope you enjoyed this long video. It was super fun. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.